guys are in need of cheap and reliable MT, make sure you head over to mtstacks.com. Link is in the description. Once you get to the website, choose whatever console you want to buy MT for. Choose your MT value, and then when you get to checkout, use code RUSH for 5% off. What's happening, y'all? It's your boy Rush. Hey, we got a different type of video, you know what I'm saying? It's Saturday, we chilling, and the NBA season is, you know what I'm saying, it's getting to a close, man, and I'm kind of depressed because my team is down 0-2. We should be up 2-0. I mean, when you blow a 17-point lead and a 14-point lead to Jimmy Butler, who has not gotten a haircut in 6 months, and Goran Dragic, it's looking sad, bro. It's looking sad. But today we got a couple topics we're going to talk about within the NBA. Like I said, this is something different. If you enjoy it, make sure you drop a like and let me know down below in the comments. But the first thing we want to talk about is, it's the hot topic that everybody's talking about right now, is the Bronny James stuff with him over there off the pack. Now, I don't feel like a lot of grown men on the internet are really concerned about what Bronny James is doing, which it's kind of weird. Like, there was the video of him with the white girl. He was doing the motherfucking TikTok and all that, and everybody cared. I thought that was weird. He's a 15-year-old kid living his life, man, and like, I'm not saying that it's cool for a teenager to be smoking, because I mean, you shouldn't be doing it, but a lot of people are throwing stones from glass houses because they know they were doing even more egregious stuff as a 15-year-old. But you're not the best basketball player on the planet, son, with the same type of scrutiny and scrutiny and notoriety that he has. Now, you got to sit around here. You got to think about it, right? You're 15 years old. You're a top basketball prospect that people want to see, you know, saying succeed. You're the son of the best player in the world who's fighting for a championship right now. Well, he's in the bubble, and then you accidentally put that on your Snapchat story of you smoking. Now, it's not a good look, but he's a kid, and, you know, kids make mistakes. A lot of kids, I've done some wild stuff when I was 15, 16. A lot of people have done some wild stuff when they were 15, 16. So I guess you got to take that into account. But it's interesting just to see the reactions of everybody. Like, the memes are funny and everything on the internet, but I ain't gonna hold y'all. I would not be surprised if we wake up Monday morning, first take, you know what I'm saying, Shannon over there, he got them woods in his mouth, he got the Black and Miles, he got the yak, he's sitting there chilling, talking about some Goat James with his pilot glasses on. And the first topic is Bronny James caught smoking, how this impacts LeBron's legacy. I could just see some goof ass shit like that going on, where they sit up here and they act like Bronny James smoking is going to impact LeBron's legacy. Skip will sit up there and he'll say, you know, LeBron, you and your parenting skills, those are not the things that Michael Jordan would have done. Michael Jordan would have left the bubble and went to see his son and handled that properly. And that's why LeBron's not Jordan. That's why LeBron's not Kawhi Leonard. That's why he's not Kevin Durant. I could definitely see Skip going on some goof-ass rant like that and talking like that on some crazy stuff, which is... it's hilarious, bro. It's hilarious because I believe there was something, man. I don't know if it actually happened. I think it was when Bronny joined FaZe. I don't know if they talked about that on TV, which I think is dope, right? I think it's dope. I mean, that kid has a lot going for him, and that's why this isn't the best look. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, 15, 16-year-old kid, you don't really want to... yeah, it's not the best look, but... you know what I'm saying? He'll get through it. He'll be all right, because there's a lot of people doing a lot worse stuff. I promise you, if they had cameras on LeBron, or if LeBron had Snapchat and Instagram at that point, because he was popular in the city when he was a kid, for sure. But if they had him like that at that time, they probably would have caught him doing something. They would have caught a lot of people doing a lot of crazy stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? Because kids, at the end of the day, will be kids. But what he did ain't the best. But it's nothing for us to sit up here and just jump down his throat over. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that he was actually smoking on that motherfucking Clippers pack, that pandemic P pack, that Kawhi Leonard pack, that stripper chicken wing Lou Will pack, you know what I'm saying? Now look, I chose the Clippers to win the championship, and I can sit on that L. I thought it was going to be Clippers, Bucks in the finals, and now my team has a chance to go to the finals. We'll be down 0-2, so I'm down terrible. But I thought the Clippers were going to win that. I got to wear that. I did not expect the Nuggets to come out here, and I did not expect them to blow the leads. I mean, them and the Celtics, it's ridiculous, man. Blowing double-digit leads to teams that are with inferior players. That doesn't mean that the teams are bad, but the players aren't as good as your top players, and you're blowing double-digit leads. It's crazy. You can't do that, man. Paul George, I know you're saying your wife beautiful, you're down there, you're living life, but, I mean, she might leave you if you keep playing like this, Playboy. I ain't gonna hold you, man. I ain't gonna hold you, because... man, if my man, look, man, Paul George, is a good basketball player. He is. And I want to see Paul George succeed. But ever since he called his ass playoff P, he's been playing like playoff penis. He's been piss poor. He's performed piss poorly. So much alliteration with the P's because that nigga is pissing the bed when he steps on the court. They didn't score. What'd they go? 0 for 11. I think him and Kawhi went 0 for 11 in the fourth quarter. They were getting good looks. They had a lead going into halftime. Blew that again. What's that? 3 straight games of blowing leads? It's unacceptable. It's really unacceptable. He clanks a shot off the side of the bag. Where it's like, damn, Paul, you were better than this, big bro. Paul George is better than this. And Kawhi, I expected more from Kawhi too. Now, I was never one of the people that sat up here and said that Kawhi was the best player in the world or better than LeBron. But I did say over the past 2 seasons that Giannis had been better than LeBron in the regular season, which he had. And we'll talk about that in a second. But it's a lot of recency bias, man. You know what I'm saying? Something happens because if Kawhi doesn't win that championship and KD's healthy and wins that championship, then we're talking about KD being the best player in the world again. When Steph went 73-9, back-to-back MVP, Steph was the best player in the world, man. Every single year there's a new person, and LeBron is that stagnant pillar within that conversation, which makes him so great. But every single time somebody does something, they're going to talk about it, and they're going to stack him up against LeBron, which I still have that mindset. And I'm not even the biggest LeBron fan. I'm a Celtics fan, as y'all know. But I'm still of that mindset. It's like you can't really go against Bron. If you want to say somebody else the best, they're gonna have to pull up and improve it. And I think the only person who's really attempted to do that kind of successfully was Durant, but Durant did it on another team, so people aren't gonna show him the same amount of love. But I mean, it is what it is, and it is what it might be. But that leads us into our next topic, which is the MVP award. Now, a lot of people on the internet are really upset about the motherfucking MVP award, and I don't know why you're upset about the MVP award when, one, I told y'all Giannis is going to win the MVP. People have been saying Giannis is going to win the MVP, but people thought LeBron would win it. I don't know why you thought LeBron would win it, because here was my premise off of it. Giannis, I believe, had the best PER ever, had a great statistical season, had the best record in the NBA before the bubble, and even if it counted the bubble, like before the playoffs, the regular season bubble, Giannis would still win it because LeBron didn't play exceptional when the bubble first started, and they were losing games. So for people to sit up here and act like Giannis doesn't deserve it, and what happened in the playoffs? It's a regular season award, and I think people are forgetting that. And because their favorite player didn't win it, now people are trying to discredit the MVP award now. There was a video, you guys can look it up, of LeBron after the game talking about how he was pissed that he only got a certain amount of votes for it, which I can understand how he could be pissed, but he had a great season. He did. And when you look at LeBron and the season that he had, like I said, it was great. It was a great season, but Giannis' season was better. And then LeBron brought up the narrative per se, right? He brought up the narrative that, they set up this narrative and it's narrative-based driven and, like, you don't understand. But he doesn't understand why the voting's like that. But the narrative is more in LeBron's favor. Now, if somebody can give me a legitimate argument to how the narrative is in Giannis' favor, go ahead. I think the only narrative that someone might try to push for Giannis is that he's the next big thing in the league. But, I mean, I think that's the case with most MVPs. Like, I think that's the narrative that's pushed with Luka and Zion, but they're not winning MVPs yet. But the thing about LeBron with the MVP that bugs me is the way that people acted like Steph Curry and Kevin Durant because they played on the Warriors together and were just dropping so much meat that they couldn't win MVP. But yet, LeBron got 16 first-place votes. He got 84 second-place votes, 1 third-place vote. Harden got 1 second-place vote. Anthony Davis, LeBron's teammate, who leads the Lakers in many of the statistical categories, got 5 third-place votes, 14 fourth-place votes, 15 fifth-place votes. So Anthony Davis finished in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He finished in 6th in the MVP voting. Now, based off the history that I've seen, it would make sense to me that LeBron wouldn't win MVP because, one, his team was not as good record-wise as Giannis and the Bucks, and he had a teammate on his team who was also an MVP candidate. Giannis' team was built somewhat around him, but we saw in the playoffs that none of them are really that special. Chris Middleton, Brook Lopez can do something here and there. Eric Bledsoe's been overrated. I've never been a fan of him. But if Steph and KD couldn't even win an MVP during that time, I don't expect LeBron to win an MVP. But let me just see the narrative. Let me just outline the narrative that LeBron is saying that there is or isn't. The narrative that I've seen about LeBron is LeBron, 35 years old, coming into his 17th season, playing for the storied Lakers franchise after he just had one of the bigger injuries of his career. teams up with Anthony Davis, and they're looking to get the 17th championship to tie the Boston Celtics for the most all time. That's already a narrative right there, that they use his age and say what LeBron's doing in year 17. They use that as part of the narrative to why he should win MVP as opposed to the actual on-court production. And then, rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. There were people on the internet saying that the Lakers and LeBron had to deal with so much because of Kobe Bryant's passing. That's another thing to add to the narrative, too, that they did. Everybody in the NBA felt his passing. Anybody that fucked with basketball felt the passing of Kobe Bryant. And I don't think it's fair to use that as a marker or a piece of validity to give LeBron the MVP. I don't think that's fair at all. So just going into those are already narratives right there. The biggest one, and I saw the Ramona Shelburne clip. She talked about how she's a narrative-based voter for the MVP, which I think is like whatever, I guess. I'm trying to it's really just a combination of stats, team performance, and narrative. And LeBron had the narrative on his side this year. Now, if you disagree with me, please let me know down in the comments below, because I just felt like the narrative was LeBron's old, LeBron came off an injury, he's going crazy, but Giannis was still performing as the best player on the court and was one of the best defensive players on the court. Now, the Giannis Depoy argument, I still think he should have won that, but there's more of an argument for Giannis to have gotten Depoy as opposed to Giannis getting the MVP. That's just what I think, man. If you guys enjoy this type of video where I just come on here and just chat some basketball stuff, let me know down in the comments below. I hope you guys have a blessed one, and I'm gonna catch y'all later, man. Peace.